Okay, guys, so the second topic that we learned about, this was still on April 20th and 21st, was something called compound interest. And compound interest is, it looks similar to simple interest because we use the same variables and the same letters right here that represent different parts. But it's different because if we look here, this t is in the exponent. And in our bank account, what that means is it's not just giving us the interest from the initial amount, it gives us the interest based on the new amount in our bank account. So every year the interest is added to our principal, our initial deposit, and the interest that we're getting incorporates the initial amount and the new amount. So in a compound interest, you're kind of making a little bit more each year because it's taking into account the new amount as well. So we're going to do the same thing we did with simple interest. We are going to read through this formula and do some problems. So the letters stand for the same thing. P of t is the account balance after t years. It's our final answer. P sub 0 is the initial account balance at 0 years. So in this problem right down here, we see Fred invests $7,000. So that's going to end up being our P of 0. 1 is just 1. It's the number 1. Plus R, still written as a decimal, because like I said in the first video, we need to make sure that we always convert the percent to a decimal. And then t is time, but again, it's in the exponent, it's raised. It's not at the same level. So that means that this one, I don't think I put it as a question here. Yeah, I didn't. This one is an exponential function because the t is in the exponent. Like I said, that's not going to be asked in this form, but it may be asked in the future. So you just want to know that when that t is up in the exponent, it's exponential. Let's do a problem. So we see Fred invests $7,000. I already told you. 7,000 is our initial amount, so that's our P of 0, P sub 0, into an account that earns 1.25%. We said we have to change that to a decimal, so move the decimal point to the left twice. 0.0125. So that's going to be what I use for R. Compound interest each year. So because we see this phrase compound interest, it means that I'm going to be using this formula right here. If it said simple interest, I'd use the formula from the first video. Use function notation. I already said I'm going to use the P of t because that's what they gave us here. But function notation is just f of x or f of t, just like we did at the beginning of the year, to represent his account balance as a function of time. So here we go. P of t, P sub t, equals the initial amount, which we said was 7,000. And unlike simple interest where it was plus, this one has the times right here. Okay. Parentheses, 1 plus R, which is 0.0125. And we said the t is in the exponent in this one instead of it being at the same level. So all I did here is I took the numbers from the problem and I put them into the formula. If the problem says compound interest, we are always using this formula. Okay. Now we're going to do what we did in the first video. We're going to take that 13 and we're going to be putting it in for our t once the page extends. Come on. Okay, so P sub t equals 7,000 times 1 plus 0.0125, close it to the 13, because we're putting the 13 up there because we're looking for 13 years. So if you have a TI graphing calculator, you're going to just type in all of this part into the same line in your calculator and make sure you use that like up arrow. It looks like this. It's the caret sign to get that 13 raised. All of us that don't have a calculator are going to go back into Desmos. So I'm going to go to my internet and I have my Desmos screen here. I'm going to type in what it says here, 7,000 times parentheses 1 plus, and then all of that. So 7,000. I could put the dot if I want to. You don't have to. You could also just go straight to times. Parentheses 1 plus 0.0125. I think that was what it was. Yep, to the 13. And to do to the 13, I'm going to do Shift 6 to raise it up. But again, there's this keypad down here, and it says A to the B. If you press that, it will bring it up for you. And then I just have to press Enter, and it shows up right here, $8,226.85. Because it's money, you want to round to 2 decimal places, because that's what the American dollar uses. It uses 2 decimal places. 8226.85. 8226.85. 8226.85. Dollar sign goes in front. And that's it. So that is compound interest. You read the problem, follow this formula, plug your numbers in, and then use a calculator in order to evaluate after a certain amount of time. Remember, if you have questions on this topic, you can either reach out to either Ms. Selesky or me, and we will help you out. Talk to you soon.